Radio. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Hank.
How you doing?
Quick question.
Yep.
I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Let's see. In Genesis chapter 1, the Bible talks about God creating the world in 6 days. And I'm one that takes that as a literal, 6 24-hour days. And I was wondering, what is your take on that, and what is your basis for your opinion?
Well, I think you're right to take them as literal 24-hour days. I think there's no question whatsoever that that's the framework that we're given. But now the question becomes: Does God really take 24-hour days to create things? Can He create things in a millisecond? And so my sense is that what is given to us is not a chronology of creation, but rather what's given to us is a way of remembering during the normal everyday seven-day cycle of life. We're given a way of remembering every day God's creative prowess. So yeah, I think they are 24-hour days. The very way in which the passages are constructed point to 24-hour days with evening and morning, even before, by the way, the sun and moon are given to us in the creation progression. But again, I don't think this is given as a chronology of creation, but rather a hierarchy of creation, so that we might, during the normal 7-day cycle of living, remember that God has created all things. And of course, if you're familiar with the book of Genesis, you'll realize that this is a literary device that is used by Moses, not only with respect to the 7 days of creation, but throughout the book of Genesis. I mean, he gives us the topics so that you can remember them with your 10 fingers. He gives us the genealogies, 10 before the flood and 10 after the flood. So we realize that they're not sequential, but rather symmetrical. So again, those that are familiar with the book of Genesis will pick up on the fact that this is one of the things that Moses does so that we will not only hear, but we will indeed remember.
Okay, thanks, Hank.
Hey, you got it. I've written about that in a lot of different places, including the Creation Answer book. I talk about what the exegetical liabilities of the 24-hour view are. Just as there are extra biblical liabilities for the 24-hour view, so there are exegetical liabilities. A young earth creationist suggests that God employed non-solar light to govern the days until He created the sun, moon, and stars on day 4. But the biblical text literally says, if you want to take it literally, there was evening and there was morning, indicating that the first 3 days of creation were normal solar days encompassing both daylight and darkness. And the dominant argument that the Hebrew word yom, meaning day, used with a numeral always, always, always refers to a literal 24-hour solar day doesn't correspond to reality either. I mean, Hosea 6:2 becomes a devastating counter-example, because there, as in other passages, yom preceded by a numeral represents a period of time longer than a single solar day. The unending nature of the seventh day also constitutes a major exegetical problem for the 24-hour interpretation. Logically and literarily, the seventh day cannot simultaneously be unending and temporal. So the bottom line is, as I said, the days of Genesis are rendered literal solar days, not to establish a chronology of creation, but to remember the purposes of God.